So I gotta come. Recently, I've been coming on twice, and I don't know what it is. When the seasons change and the tides change, I have to change with it. Now, there was a message. I've been given this message more than once. I've been given this message more than once. But this morning, they were very adamant. It was very strong. They were very fixed about me giving this message today. And I gotta explain a couple of things because I needed to be clear. Now, I always talk about the fact that I use the Bible like a tarot card, like tarot cards, because it's not right. I use the Bible like tarot cards. The way people take their tarot cards and they shuffle them and the Spirit gives the message, that's how I use the Bible. Okay? So, when I woke up this morning, the message was very strong and it was very specific. And then I got up throughout my day and they gave it again. And I was doing my morning routine and they gave it again. And they gave a couple of messages. So this morning I ended up, because I got into explaining about the altar and how you worship, so I forgot about the message. So I said I would say it later, because I said I'd just put this message on its own, because I don't have a choice to give it. The message has been given multiple times. In my prayers this morning, I said to God, I said to my Father, I said, listen, I'm gonna water it down because you guys said to be peaceful. I have to water it down because I know how He is. He's gonna give me a message and the message is going to be shaky. And He listened and He didn't say anything. And I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna water it down. So He gave me His words and I tried to change it. And He said, no, say it like I told you to say it. This is what I said. I want to explain a little bit about what's going on. Where do I even start? Okay, let's start with myself. I'm born here. I don't know who I actually am to God. I live a very humble life, nothing special about it. I haven't been perfect in my life. Nobody has, but I've lived a pretty decent life, as in, not going overboard. And then one day, God comes to get me, and I find out who I am. And part of who I am is the people that you hire. So what we do is we find people. Well, I don't find the people. God brings me to people. I meet people. And when I meet them, God orchestrates circumstances that start testing them or training them or initiating them or waking them up. It can look any way. Waking them up could be I show them love and they recognize what love is and it makes them think. It could be that I show them themselves, how they behave, what it feels like, what they do to other people, and then they learn. It could be that I put them in a situation that is very difficult, that shows them the way they treat other people, even though I'm not involved. And what happens in these situations is these circumstances allows God to reach people that God couldn't reach. So what happens now is when a person starts realizing it gets so bad that a person says to themselves, oh my goodness, is this how I treated other people? Is this what I was a part of? This is wrong. Because believe it or not, there are times where people are horrible, but because they've never experienced it themselves or because they're not there to see it themselves, they don't, they know it's bad, but they don't know how bad it feels. They have to feel it. You know how easy it is to write a candle and say a prayer, and you don't even see the person that you hurt. But if you saw them, maybe your heart would pound a little bit because you'd be like, oh my goodness, they look horrible. But then you'd brush it aside and go. You'd brush it off. You'd shake off that feeling like, oh my goodness, what did I do? Because striking a match or flicking a lighter and lighting a candle, it's very easy. You let it burn down, you go to sleep, you laugh, you go to dinner, you don't care. Suffering the consequences of the lit candle, when you feel how hard it is, it changes you, it opens your heart. You develop something called empathy. Empathy is different than sympathy, because you could sympathize by thinking, imagining what it is, but empathy is when you feel it. You feel what they feel. You feel that emotion. So people with empathy, they cry when other people cry. They laugh when other people laugh. When things happen for people that are good, they're happy. Empathy has nothing to do with if you like them or not. Empathy is, I feel it. So people who come here and we have to wake them back up because they've been doing bad things, or maybe they haven't been doing bad things, but they're still asleep. We need the empathy. We gotta make them feel. Even if it's not things that they did to other people, but we gotta make them feel how other people feel so that they will develop something called empathy for others. The empathy for others will allow them to carry out their spiritual contract, the mission that God gave them here on earth. This mission involves endangering your own self to save other people. And why do we do that? Because we can feel what they feel. Empathy. When you're a spiritual being, your empathy is turned, that volume is turned all the way up. So you literally feel what people feel. You can be pushing your cart at the supermarket and feel like you almost want to faint because you're feeling someone's emotions who's at home crying. You're feeling it. You need a moment. You need to stand and hold something, hold your heart. You're breathing heavy because somebody's at home crying, terrified. The prayers that they're praying to God, what they're feeling and going through, you feel that yourself. So then you might feel the need to go to pray on their behalf and ask God to make their situation better because it's not right. And because it keeps bothering you, you keep bothering God because it's not right. Now, let me explain. So that's one part. The other part of this situation is in waking people up, I have to gather them to come to their spiritual contract. The spiritual contract is something that you cannot negotiate out of. In whatever your circumstances are, it's how you come to your spiritual contract. And just like you guys recruit, you create the circumstances and people have no choice but to go through the door. And God is the same way. God creates the circumstances to help people make the correct decision that is for not their highest good, but the highest good of other people because they are needed. Many things make people needed. Their capacity to feel love, their spiritual strength, their spiritual rank and authority, meaning their connection to God is strong enough that they can speak to God to get the messages across clearly. They are obedient to God in all circumstances. So my job is to gather talent. This means I am a recruiter in a way. I cannot go home every day and say I haven't collected the person who's here on the assignment. Every day I go, they're upset with me. It's awkward. It puts me at odds. It puts me in a bad situation because I'm not doing my job. Spiritual contracts for recruiters are like contracts for you with recruiters. They don't care the circumstances. They don't care what happened. They just want to know, why am I here if the job is not done? Did you get him? No. Why are you here? It's like that. That's the energy. The explanation is he is scared for his life. He doesn't want to talk to me. He won't respond to me. I gotta come on live. What am I gonna do? How do I even reach out to a person who won't talk to me at all? I have no way to do my job. I get blocked. I'm blocked in my work. I can't even start my work. No matter what I say, I gotta go back and I gotta say, listen, guys, I can't do it. But I feel his emotions. I'm not saying I empathize with his emotions. I say I feel them. I feel his emotions. Because his contract that he has on his life directly involves me, like it's directly tied to me. Even though we are not tied, the contract involves two people. And you feel the other person's emotions. There's a lot of panic all the time. If they cannot find me, panic, scattered, heart racing, anxiety. If I post something on social media, panic and anxiety. This issue is pushing this man to a point where he's gonna put himself in jail because he is more than desperate. He is at the point, if he goes to jail, the contract cannot be filled at all. Doesn't matter what was said or done in the past. It doesn't matter. They don't tell me, they don't tell me in the middle of it what's going on, because both of us are being trained to be strong in every circumstance. We are being trained for our job. So in the middle of the training, nobody tells me. I'm thinking it's gonna go that way, and then they stop me and they say, no, now you gotta go talk to him and tell him this contract is his and he has to come home. And if the day I came on here and I freaked out, I came back the next day crying. Did you see? It created a problem. So, and you know, I've been through hell and back. I haven't come on here crying. This is a real problem. I know that you guys don't know God. Because you don't know God, you don't fear God. You don't know spirituality, because if you did, you would be respectful of energy. Because you guys don't understand spiritual work, you don't understand the amount of work that John did here. Because you guys do not understand spiritual work, you don't understand what it takes to do spiritual work. Spiritual work is not something that spirits give you a choice. If you don't show up for your spiritual job, they destroy you. If you have a reason, they destroy the reason. Spirits are not like us. Spirits don't care about human affairs. Spirits don't care what is an excuse. They don't care. They ask you to do something. Their mind works like, it's okay, I gave the job to this one, it'll be done. Think about being a spirit. 8 billion people on the planet. 8 billion prayers. Do you think you need, when you put it on that person's desk, for it to come back on this desk? Do you think that you need, every time you give somebody something, that they come back with a million excuses and reasons? You know, all they want to hear is, it got done, I did it. When I come back and I say, it's done, I did it, they're happy. They don't care about anything other than that. They don't want to hear anything other than that. Now, let me explain to you why he's more important. Again, he is carrying many souls that he has collected for Baal, for dark entities, for demons, people that he's traded. I believe on behalf of you, I don't know on behalf of who, but he's collected souls, soul contracts. He has soul ties on his vessel. Soul ties. Many, many. So saving one John saves many people. Some of those people are God's personal children, people with divine contracts, spiritual contracts, people who have things to do that are non-negotiable. They cannot negotiate their way out of it. And when they cannot do what they're supposed to do, they cannot show up where God wants them to go because their literal life is in jeopardy. They are being threatened with all kinds of things. If it's not them, it's their family, it's children. They can't make a move. When that happens, people have to go back and tell God the reason why. So by himself, he's carrying a whole bunch of souls that cannot die with him because he is possessed. When I say he's possessed, I do not want you guys to judge. Possessed, I could be possessed, but I am possessed, but I'm possessed by the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit possession is different than demonic possession of demons that are not in alignment with God. So this means that he needs spiritual strength to manage this thing that is on him. He needs his mind clear because this thing is going to continue to try to get him out of here with all those soul contracts. It wants to do so quickly. Every single day it's going to make an attempt to put him in a situation where he is going to end up not being able to enact his contract. You guys don't understand what that's like. You talk to a person, and if you catch them, you catch the real person. If you catch the entity at play, this is not the real person. They cannot control it. The entity is provoking all the time for them to do things that's causing karma. We've cleared a lot of karma. It's causing more karma to be put in place. It's causing him to go out of bounds. It's causing him to do things. He needs to get the entity off. He needs to get cleaned up, and he needs to get healed so he can start walking the path that is meant for him. The window cannot close without him getting through the door. These contracts must go through. No ifs, no ands, no buts. It doesn't matter what human being has to say, no matter how much money, no matter how much power, no matter how many guns, no matter how much violence. God is not concerned. The people that we are collecting here have very dangerous things that they have to do, very tough spiritual work that only they can do. This is why they're trained before they even can walk this path. They need strength and obedience. He has both. The other issues need to be fixed, meaning the thing that's on him needs to be removed. The souls that are on him need to be removed. They need to be released. He cannot be in this position where he wakes up every day. He barely has enough strength to stand up. He has too much anxiety to eat. He is suicidal. He is terrified. This is a man with children. This is a man with attachments, with family. So it has to stop today, now. It cannot continue. No threats to his life, no driving by his house, no threats to his kids, no threats to his family, nothing that will make him panic. He must relax. He must relax. Whatever he was paid or owed or whatever, it's done. He's been working for free. He's been working under duress. He's been putting his own soul on the line to do work that should have never been done at all. My mother came first. She's been patient. We have explained. It's been spoken. People act like, let me explain. I gotta go down my list. The people here don't want to do the work. They don't want to gang stalk. Nobody's gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. They don't want to do it. They're scared. Everybody here has gotten the lesson. Everybody here is suffering. These people are tired. They want to be released. They're tired. They're drained. They're tired. They don't want to show up. They're scared. In these soul contracts, this is how they work. The woman, the female, protects the male spiritually. The male protects the female physically. Instead of being able to protect me, he has to attack me. That puts his contract and his life in risk with spirit. John understands that because John does spiritual work. People who don't believe in spiritual work don't care. They don't believe it's real. They think there's no rules in the spirit. You can just do anything. So every time he has to go further and further and further into places that are darker and darker, that are deeper and deeper, because he has to get it done. Because he's scared. He's gone to places that nobody should have gone to, doing things that nobody should have done, bearing consequences, living in conditions that are unsavory, and has a lot of entities attached to him, one of which is very strong. He's not able to do his work, but I am able to do my work. And my work is to protect him spiritually. That's my job, because he has the contract. I gotta cover him spiritually. And I can't let anything happen to him at all, or it's my ass. Nothing can happen to him. No one can touch him at all. No taking off a finger, no poking, no taking off a hand, a foot, no shooting, nothing can happen to him. Spiritually, it's my job. It's my job to do it spiritually. He has to stop his work immediately right now. He's gonna stop his work immediately right now. He's gonna stop his work immediately right now. He has to rest. And nothing's gonna happen to him. Nothing is going to happen to him. He has to stop his work right now. He's gonna stop working on me. He's gonna stop working on the other people. He has to bully to do this. He has to bully people to do this. He has to force people to do this. He's gonna stop today. He needs to relax. When you have these kind of entities on you, you can't even sleep anyway. But how does a person go to sleep when they're scared? Every day. Working 24 hours a day, 24 hours a day, 24 hours a day, day after day after day after day after day. It's unnatural. It's unnatural. Doesn't even look like himself. I'm shocked what he looks like. No more. No more. None. Spirit is calling him, and even that, he is so scared, and he doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have a choice. He has to go. And let me explain one thing about people like John. People like myself, we're always good people. So it's not like we're not special. We are special to Spirit. We have special things we have to do. But people like John are extra special because those people were stolen very early. Those people were stolen very early, and it's been very difficult to watch for my parents, the kind of things that he's been engaging in. It's hard to watch. It's hard to know that that's what's going on. It's unbearable. You know, spiritual parents are the same exact as human parents. They pace the wall, they get scared, they panic, everything they want to see. That's how a mother works. That's exactly how she behaves. She panics, she over worries, she watches everything, she wants you to be cautious. Do you know how a father behaves? He goes blind with rage. He doesn't want to hear a thing. Inconsolable. He gets upset. John is special because we have his attention, we have his ear. We need him back. My parents need him back. They're very serious about this one. They want this one back. He's very strong spiritually. He's been weakened. He's tired. And if he continues down this path, he will die. He won't make it. And that is going to be the worst problem you've ever had in your life. He cannot die, even if it's not by your hand. They're going to take it by your hand because they're going to say that you did it. I'm just being very clear with the message. They're going to say you did it. Do you know? Let me explain to you. Do you know that if I try to reach out to him and the entity blocks it, they still get mad at me? And I'm sitting there like, wait, why am I the bad guy? I didn't do it. Spirits are just like people without the body. If somebody's son dies of an overdose, they're gonna blame the person who 10 years ago, they need somebody to blame. They're upset. They're not just gonna sit down about it. What is he doing here? What is he doing here? And not just what is he doing here. Do you know how long it takes to put somebody on the planet, to train them? How long you have to watch over them and wait? So when you bring the solution to a problem, and the solution to the problem needs to be 45 years old to be a solution, it means that people suffer for 45 years until the solution is ready. Who has that kind of time to do this over? The solution is in its 40s. The solution is here and is ready now. They're not going to do a do-over. Not everybody can do this kind of work. This kind of work is very difficult. This kind of work takes somebody that can carry multiple entities, multiple soul contracts, that is strong. They said they want him, and they mean it. He has to stop today. It stops today. August 27th, 2024, it stops now. I'm telling you it stops now. And I'm telling John it stops now. It's done. Now, you've been paying so that you would be blocked. You would be covered. While the work is being done, you're being covered so the work wouldn't come back to you. That's what let me tell you, this doesn't exist. People keep taking your money and just saying yes, 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 because they're scared of you. They're scared to say it doesn't exist. Nothing is hidden spiritually. God knows you before you're born. And if you hide and some regular spiritualists can't see you, God will put your face in somebody's mind. God will show people who you are. God will tell them your exact phone number, your exact address, your exact location. God will tell them where you're going to be before you go there, so they stand and they wait for you. And God won't give them a choice. They gotta go. There is no such thing as spiritual cloaking. There is no such thing as hiding spiritually. God knew you before you were born. So what do you mean? Hide how? God knows everything that you're doing, all your people, everything. You must understand. This is spirit. This is not people. This is energy. This is not people. You cannot pay for spiritual privacy. You cannot pay for cloaking. Your people are coming to me in meditations for healing. Your people are dying literally because of the work they've done. You should see what they look like up there. They're not themselves. They're crying. They're in pain. It is impossible when you feel people's emotions not to feel empathy. It is impossible. It doesn't matter what I feel. Let me tell you what it's like feeling someone's emotions. If they're crying, you are crying with the same intensity that they're crying. If they're suffering, you're suffering the same things that they're suffering. Whatever they feel, you feel the same emotion. You feel the panic, you feel everything. It is impossible not to. I have to do it. Even if I wasn't forced to do it, I would still come here and do it because I don't want to live like this. There's times I can't even work because I'm drained just by feeling this. I have to motivate myself to get up and go outside. I have to motivate myself to get up because this person is going through too much. You have paid people to break multiple spiritual laws. Spiritual law is not like human law that you can pay off the police to get away from. Spiritual law comes back. Spiritual law you cannot escape. The soul must pay. When you break spiritual law against normal people, it's one thing. But when you break spiritual law against divine people, what concerns God's people concerns God. An offense to God's people is a direct offense to God. Because they don't live for themselves. They live for God. They do what God says to do. So God says, you are my hand. You are my right hand. You go and you do the thing that I would have done if I was there. So God puts people in all different places to do for him what he needs to be done. So when you cut off the right hand of God, God feels it. Now God's missing a hand. It is a direct offense, a direct violation. This man has used his life, and if not for God, he wouldn't even be alive. He wouldn't even be here. That's how far it has come. 2 years of this kind of suffering, and it's showing no sign of stopping because every day, he has to do the work. Whether people want to sign up to do it or not, he has to do it himself. No more. Now. 8:41, now. It's done now. It cannot continue. It must be done now. So, this is part of my spiritual contract that I must take care of this. He is upset. He doesn't want me to do this. The minute that he felt like I was coming on here, the panic was so bad. I'm gonna know if you even start planning anything. If you even order somebody to do something, if you pick up the phone, I'm gonna see you, I'm gonna know, I'm gonna hear it. And then I'm gonna do my job. This is my job. Nothing can happen to him at all. At all. No threats. Don't call him. The decent thing to have done to start was send him some money because he has done too much. The spiritual work he's done is worth millions of dollars at this point. I'm telling you, millions. Because I know what he's been through. I know what he's suffered. I know that some of his wounds are permanent. The decent thing to have done to start, send him a few dollars just to say, well, You are like a dog, but I give you a couple dollars just to survive, to eat, just for food. That would have been the beginning of showing God that you hear, that you understand, that we asked. Give him something. Give him something. Don't let him live like this. Don't let him suffer like this. This is reducing a man. So today, it stops. As of now, he's always been protected, but I have to cover him in every way. In every way. So I feel his panic and his concern, because he's gifted too. He's gonna know. He's gonna know when he's in danger. And if I feel it, it's gonna be a problem. So they told me to be very clear. I'm not threatening and I'm not warning. I'm advising. I'm promising. I am promising. So, as usual, and I just want to say, the specific words were, let my people go. Because you're holding back multiple people. There are multiple people that need to be called that are being held back. They have work to do. This one is my responsibility, but there are others. They have to be let go. They have to be released and left alone. Just leave them alone and let it be. Let it end. That's all. There is no more. Just let it go. No more fighting, no more pressure. Don't call, don't email, don't ask him anything. No more contact with him. Let him be. Because I have to now do more work and still go and try to get this guy to communicate with me so I can have him to pray. Just to pray. So he can take this thing off of him. That's it. Just to start. So if I can't do my job, then I go to God and it's me. So now you know what position you put me in. It's either me or it's you and your people. That's the position that I'm in. I don't have a choice. It's either me who's going to take the judgment, or it's going to be you and your people that are going to take the judgment. It's awkward when I pray every day. It's awkward. It's not even just awkward. It's scary when I pray. It's scary when I pray. My father is not like my mother. My mother is patient. My father's not patient. My father does not mince words. When he gives me a scripture, I've been being disobedient. I've been saying, I can't do this today. I don't want to read this today. Because when I say, I pray, I open the Bible, I hold it, I pray, I say, what do you want me to say? And whenever I open this thing, I'm saying to myself, oh my God. And he's saying, be clear. Read it like it says. Don't look for another one. So today, the verse, I left it till the end. This is 1 Kings chapter 14. And this is called the disobedience of the prophet. And this is what John is being called to do, to be a prophet. To be one who tells other people that God is real and the path they're going on is wrong. So, I open it up. 1 Kings chapter 14, the disobedience of the prophet. At that time, Abijah, the son of Jeroboam, fell sick. And Jeroboam said to his wife, arise, I pray, and disguise thyself, that thou be not known to be the wife of Jeroboam, and get thee to Shiloh. Behold, there is Ahijah the prophet, which told me that I should be king over this people. And take with thee 10 loaves, and cracknels, and a cruse of honey, and go to him. He shall tell thee what shall become of the child. And Jeroboam's wife did so, and arose, and went to Shiloh, and came to the house of Ahijah. But Ahijah could not see, for his eyes were set by the reason of his age. And the Lord said unto Ahijah, Behold, the wife of Jeroboam cometh to ask a thing of thee for her son, for he is sick. And Jeroboam's wife, where am I? And the Lord said, Behold, and the Lord said unto Ahijah, who's blind, Behold, the wife of Jeroboam cometh to ask a thing of thee for her son, for he is sick. Thus shalt thou say unto her, for it shall be, when she cometh in, that she shall feign herself to be another woman. And it was so, when Ahijah heard the sound of her feet, as she came in at the door, that he said, Come in, thou wife of Jeroboam. Why feignest thou thyself to be another woman? For I am sent to thee with heavy tidings. I am sent to you with heavy tidings. Heavy news, bad news. Go to Jeroboam. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, for as much as I exalted thee from amongst the people and made thee prince over my people Israel, and rent the kingdom away from the house of David and gave it to thee, and yet thou hast not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments and who followed me with all his heart, to do that only which was right in my eyes, but hast done evil above all that were before thee. For thou hast gone and made thee other gods and molten images to provoke me to anger, and hast cast me behind thy back. Therefore, behold, I will bring evil upon the house of Jeroboam, and will cut off Jeroboam, him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will take away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam, as a man taketh away dung, till it all be gone. Him that dieth of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat, for the Lord hath spoken it. Arise thou therefore, get thee to thine own house, and when thy feet enter into the city, the child shall die. And all Israel shall mourn for him, and bury him, for he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave, because in him there is found some good thing towards the Lord God of Israel in the house of Jeroboam. Moreover, the Lord shall rise him up a king over Israel, who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam that day. But what? Even now. I'm going to read it again, because spirits are specific. They're not metaphorical. It's not coincidence. Moreover, the Lord shall rise him up a king over Israel, who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam that day. For the Lord shall smite Israel as a reed is shaken in the water, and he shall root up Israel out of this good land which he gave to their fathers, and shall scatter them beyond the river, because they have made their groves, provoking the Lord to anger. And he shall give Israel up because of the sins of Jeroboam, who did sin, and who made Israel to sin. And Jeroboam's wife arose and departed, and came to Tirzah. And when she came to the threshold of the door, the child died. And they buried him, and all Israel mourned for him, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by the hand of his servant Ahijah the prophet. And the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, how he warred and how he reigned, behold, they were written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. And the days which Jeroboam reigned were 22 years, till he slept with his fathers, and Nadab his son reigned in his stead. I think it's pretty clear what they're saying. I'm not going to leave it totally to interpretation. I think it's clear what they say. When they tell me things and I think they're not being specific, I think they're just saying something, they're being very specific. I don't know the circumstances personally, but this is what I got. And it's kind of like sometimes if I shuffle my tarot deck and I get another card and I don't want to take the card, I put it back, I'll get it again. If I even a third time put it back, I'll get it again. God is specific. God is like, no, this is what I said. So, this is the message that I have. We cannot let John forever die at all. We can't let him live in this condition. He can't do any of these things anymore. It's done now. God said it's done. It has to be done now. It's very simple. It's very easy. No one has gained anything here, only lost. Just lost. Lost money, lost time, lost people, lost friends, lost lives. That's it. Just lost. It has gone so far, it cannot be done. It should not be done. It's time to move on from the issue. Just to let it rest, to let it be. Just to remove yourself from the issue. No revenge. He did the job. He did the work. He did the work. This is the truth. He did the work. He didn't leave one stone unturned. It's the truth. I came on here and I told everybody about what he did. I told everybody. You're going to have a hard time finding someone in Toronto that's going to want to do it anyway. Because they know. I've met some of your people. I've met them. They know me. They seen me. I didn't know them at first. I was, oh, those are your people. They don't want to do this anymore. They're taking strength to do this. They're tired. They're afraid for their lives. People know that God is here. It's very clear. You know that. You know that. This is supernatural. A spiritualist knows that. All of them know that. All the spiritualists know that. This is my job. This is what I have to do. I have to do this. The people that you have your hand on, you got to take your hands off of them. You got to take your hands off of them. They have callings. They have things that they have to do. So you're going to have to pay the karma for when they don't show up to their job. He can't do this work anymore. He must rest. He must rest. And I mean that. He must rest. Physically, he must rest. No more waking up early, no more up all night, no more shaking, no more panicking, no more. He must rest. It must stop. So I give God's message. This is God's message. They're even projecting in my house right now because they're nervous of me giving this message. They're scared. They're scared. Just me saying this. They're scared. They're panicked. Because this was part of what you asked them, that I should not know who you are. But they can't do that. They can't override God. They can't say who knows who. They can't control the spirits. They can't control the spirit world. They cannot tell spirit what to show other people. They themselves need healing. These practitioners need healing. So it's enough at all. It's enough. It's done. Please don't force my hand. Please, please, I beg you. Don't force my hand. Please. No, listen to me. Please. Do not force my hand. Just walk away. That's it. And then we turn our back. That's all. Just walk away. Don't leave these people alone already. They're tired. They will never admit it, but they're tired. They're exhausted. I'm asking, leave them be. But John Ferrer specifically belongs to us. He is just as protected as me now. So I need to do my work. I need to do my healing work. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to heal. We have to get him back in good health, spiritually and physically. I help to get them back in good health. They get healed, they gotta go back to work again. They get healed and they're coming right back to work. That's not the point of the healing. The point of the healing is to heal and sit down. Heal and pray. Heal and clean the house. Heal and make the altar. Heal and connect to God. That is what the healing is supposed to do, and that's going to be very rough work. The work is not to heal enough and still come and do more. So I have no choice. I don't want to have no choice, but I have no choice. This is how it must be. He has to stop. And I have to do my work, and he's blocking my work too. All of this is a problem. So I am speaking on behalf of my father here, because my mother has spoken a lot. I'm speaking on behalf of my father. He doesn't like repeating himself. And I can't say for certain, but I get the impression he's not going to. So you have something more to protect, which is your business, which is what you have. Please, please, God has reduced men with billions. The money cannot protect you. I'm telling you that right now. They see everything. They know everything. This is why we show up to do our work. We have to. Because there is a bigger God. Please, I just ask you, let God's people go. Remove your hand from the people you are blocking. There are contracts here that are being blocked. I need you to understand, I cannot even eat food. I cannot do anything because before I start, they start on me again and say this and say that and this way and this way. As soon as I start, they start again because they want it to be clear. They are serious. No more. He cannot do any more work. He's done. And I'm going to block him from doing the work as well. No more. This is just how it has to go now, because we are at August 27th. It was supposed to be done in July. It was supposed to be done in July. It's not going to reach to September. If I see him doing work tomorrow, if I see him blocking my path tomorrow, then I'm going to take it as a sign that there's a problem still. Because I cannot go in one more prayer and not have results. I cannot go in one more prayer and not have any positive news. I can't do it. Today, now, he's gonna go and relax. All of them that been running around, all of them, they gotta stop. Nobody's gonna be manning anything. Nobody's gonna be, I have your face. Please, let us just end it now. Let people walk the path they have to walk. They don't have a choice, because spirit will keep going against them in every way. And I know that you've already started seeing it in your life, so I know you're prepared to receive the message, because I see it in your life. I've already seen it in your life. That's the beginning Don't go against God. My father is not my mother. My mother is very terrifying. Very terrifying. My father is worse. We gotta keep him calm. That's why you don't send him anywhere first. We gotta keep him calm. We gotta relax him. Do you know? I encourage him. I relax him. Please give me more time. Give me more time. That's the last 2 days. Give me more time. Just give me a little more time. So I didn't give the message this morning. I hope you're seeing the message. I have to give the message now. Please. So that is all. Have yourself a good evening. Please, I beg you like I begged everybody before. I'm begging you, please. Don't do this. Don't do it. Just let it go. Let it go. We all want to walk away. Nobody's going to think worse of you because they're going to be so grateful. They're going to be so grateful. Finally, they've been pleading for this with their heart. Nobody's going to care. Everybody just wants to mind their business. They don't want to look left or right. They don't, trust me, they don't care. You have no ego to save. These people just want to be set free. They don't care how. So this is why I'm saying, just let it go. It's okay. No pride to protect, nothing. We never speak of it again. We let it go. I have to get him to go home. I gotta get him calm. Not him, not his family, nobody. Because if his family are saying they're seeing people driving around or whatever, if his family says this, he's gonna panic again. If he has friends that say something, he's gonna panic again. He's gonna be in a panic. The guy's lost everything. He's lost enough. He's been reduced. They all have. They're done. They don't have anything more to give. They don't have any more work in them. It's enough. So that is all. Have yourself a good night.